Welcome to the Know Before You Go Travel Show, where we share all the latest travel tips, tricks, and insights to make your next vacation the best one yet. So sit back, relax, grab a cocktail, and enjoy the show with Penyak Travel's George Penyak and our senior travel consultant, Janet Penyak.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
We are back for another awesome edition of the Know Before You Go Travel Show. And we got a cool show today because you just got back from where?
Mexico.
So this show is going to be really good because it's kind of weird. You just got back from Mexico, and we're actually recording this on Cinco De Mayo.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So
we're not drinking margaritas yet.
No, we're not. We're drinking coffee. So we got our coffee here, and I'm drinking my coffee out of I Love My Cat cup because I usually make our coffee in the morning, and for some reason, I guess I was extra groggy this morning. Mm-hmm. I put your creamer in my coffee mug. Yeah. And so I said, hey, you're just getting my mug. And I already had your coffee poured in this I Love My Cat mug, which I do. I love our cat.
I was going to say, his name is Ringo.
Ringo, our cat. He is the office Penyak Travel official kitty.
Yes.
Anyways, but it's a nice pink, not a very masculine mug, but I'll take it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Coffee tastes just as good.
Yeah, well, we'll make some margaritas later. Sunday,
we're going to do some margaritas later. But anyways, it is Cinco de Mayo. We have an awesome show. We're going to talk a little Mexico with you. We literally had just gotten back from
Punta Cana.
And then you left me immediately.
Yeah, and then 4 days later, I left for Mexico. So.
And I did not burn the compound down.
I was worried about our animals. But
they lived.
They lived.
They thrived. Like, they thrive when it's just
they
me.
thrive.
Yeah, just give them what they want.
Oh.
makes problem solving very easy.
So treats all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure other pet parents can relate. But anyways, it's Cinco de Mayo. Interesting. I just saw an article. It says not many Americans know why Cinco de Mayo is celebrated, but we celebrate like crazy.
I mean, I have to admit, I'm a little ignorant on that.
That's okay. Yeah,
I literally at first thought it was their Independence Day until I was just in Mexico and they told me that is not what their Independence Day.
Correct. And I knew it wasn't like they didn't win a war or win their independence. They won a battle. Yeah. And it was a battle over the French Empire, the Battle of Pueblo, I think it is. We looked it up, but I knew it was a battle. And I was like, oh, it's just a battle. But I remember finding out about that years ago, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of a letdown. George
was always a C student, just an FYI, so he had to Google that.
I had to Google it, but I knew it was a battle. I knew it wasn't like,
Well, that's good.
I knew it wasn't their Independence Day, so I just didn't know what battle it was. But anyways, I'm actually more fascinated now in like history and stuff than I ever was back then. Yeah. I used to be like, I don't want to. History sucks. I don't care. I don't care what happened.
Yeah. He's like, I don't need to know that.
I care about the future. But anyways, no, I find it more interesting now. But anyways, yeah, so you just got back from Mexico. You did what's called a travel agent fam.
Yes, a fam trip, which is a familiarization trip. So I got invited by American Airlines and then this hotel group called Posadas Resorts to go and tour several of their resorts. So I left last Saturday and then spent 5 nights, but I'll kind of walk you through everything that I saw. But we first flew into Cozumel, spent 2 days there, and then we took the ferry over from Cozumel to Playa del Carmen. And then we didn't stay in Playa del Carmen, but we toured a resort there and kind of like toured around the town, which is a really awesome place.
Which town is that? Playa del Carmen?
Playa del Carmen. I love it there. So we'll talk about that. Yeah.
Okay, well,
and then from there, then we drove up to Cancun and then spent 2 nights at one resort in Cancun, and then went over and did one more night at a different resort in Cancun, and then I got home Thursday night. So,
well, welcome home. I'm glad to have you home. The pets are glad to have you home.
Yes.
What's really cool is that like our agency does stuff like that, and I don't think all travel agents do that. Like there were only 6 or 10 agents with you.
There was 7 agents, including myself.
That's disappointing. See. More travel agents need to do that before they make these wild recommendations,
Well, yeah, they also said they were being selective in their group, but
You are special.
Well, thank you. But I also knew that I didn't know anything about these resorts. So,
it was good to go.
Yeah, it was something I needed to do because the more you know, the better you are. So.
Yeah, and that's true. And you've done a lot of these trips, a lot of these fam trips, and you really you said it exceeded your expectations, right? Overall.
Yes. Yeah, because I've heard great things about these places, but like I said, I didn't know anything about their resorts, and it far exceeded my expectations, and it will I think whenever I quote Mexico, it'll always be a recommended. I mean, depending on what you're looking for, but usually it will be a recommended resort.
Yeah, and the flights there are fairly reasonable, right? Isn't that like an economical place to fly into, Cancun?
Yeah, overall Cancun, just all of like that Riviera Maya part of Mexico is fairly reasonably priced. So you can get in there. I did some pricing, so we'll kind of go over that just to give you an idea on what it would cost. But you can generally get in there for a pretty good price.
Well, let's start with one of the packages you quoted, and then we can talk about the property. How's that sound?
Well, so I was really excited. So we've been to Cozumel before. I mean, probably 4 or 5 times on a cruise.
Yeah, I love Cozumel.
Yeah, and Cozumel is a neat little island off the coast of the mainland part of Mexico. It's very laid back, relaxed. They said they have, which I know it's a huge cruise port, but they have ships that go in there, multiple ships every single day except for Sundays. And so that's always just how I've kind of known Cozumel is just it's a cruise spot. Every time we've gone, we usually just kind of walk around the town, go into some shops and restaurants and bars. But I've never actually stayed there. So we stayed, half of our group stayed at the Explorian Hotel there. And then the other half stayed at the Fiesta Americana there. They're both very different than anywhere I've ever stayed before. And I would probably say like the Fiesta is a 3-star resort, and then the Exploring is probably like a 3.5 to 4. But they're not on the beach; they're across the street from a beach. But if you stay at the Fiesta Americana, you have access to, or you don't have access to the Exploring. But if you're at the Exploring, you have access to all of Fiesta Americana.
Yeah.
The cool thing about Exploring is they have included activities every single day, and that's either like a snorkeling adventure, an island ATV adventure, or Jeep ride. I mean, all sorts of different things. Yes, they have one a day, and it's included.
That's pretty cool. So you have the option to do it or not. Like get signed
right.
up
Yeah,
for it, I guess.
They plan it for you whenever you arrive.
Yeah.
So you don't really get to pick like when you want to do that. But I think that's really cool because then you kind of have a plan of what you're going to do. Now,
are these now, would you say these are more family friendly resorts? I mean, what was kind of
they're family friendly.
Okay, so there were a lot of families there. What was the mix of like clientele that was there? Like as far as like were there more families or more adults?
It was more families.
More, okay, that's good. Okay, cool. Yeah.
And so
And what did that price out at?
That's what I was going to say. So I have someone booked to stay at this resort in June. It's a mother and her 13-year-old son. And 6 nights with airfare from Colombia, excuse me, with cancel for any reason insurance was like $3,200.
Wow, really?
Yes. And that's all inclusive. So all your meals, all your drinks, and then that also includes all those activities as well.
For $3,200 and flights included.
Yep.
And that's from Colombia, which is like you have a second leg in your flight.
Colombia was actually less expensive whenever I priced it than Charlotte.
That's great. And for those that aren't familiar with South Carolina, I know we have a lot of listeners everywhere. Columbia is like a smaller airport, and then we usually fly from Columbia, we either do Charlotte, North Carolina, or Atlanta, Georgia, and then to the final destination, which a lot of people probably living in the States probably have a similar situation where you have a smaller airport nearby, and you have that option to drive to the bigger airport or stick with your local airport. So that's how the local airport, which is super convenient.
Well, yeah, but we've found, though, just for locals, going west out of Columbia has, for some reason, it's been pricing out pretty good.
That's good.
Over Charlotte. So.
And, check Google Flights. Like, if you're not going to book with a travel agent, or especially a good travel agent like us, check Google Flights, and you can actually search all of your airport options that are in your area at once. And so it gives you one price there, and you can actually set alerts. So know before you go travel tip. If you're going to book on your own, do that. If you're going to book with the agent, we'll take care of that for you.
Well, yeah, and I usually do that anyway. I check Google Flights, and if I think that the pricing on the flight is high, then I always put a tracker on it, and then it'll send me an alert. All you have to do is just have a Gmail account. So
yeah, you're really good at knowing. Like you're pretty good at knowing like when the thing's going to go up or when it could go down. I mean, you're not.
Or I can look at it and tell you this is high. You should wait. So this is a great price. You should probably buy this right now.
And we've had people all the time like you say, hey, this is a great price. You probably do it, and then they're like, oh, okay, well, let me think about it, and then it goes up $300-$400.
Yeah, that
happens so often.
Yeah,
the price rarely goes down. It sometimes will go down, but it's like I think we had a show earlier on airline inventory. It's just like hotel inventory. Like if you have less stuff to like less rooms or less seats, you're going to charge a little bit more because you don't have much left, and you can maximize your profits. It's supply and demand,
right?
So yeah, it's But hey, the ones that do take advantage of when you say pull the trigger, a lot of them are very glad because you'll go back to them and say, hey, flights went up $500.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Saved you a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So that's why using an agent, I'm telling you, way to go.
Well, one thing, just back to Cozumel really quick that I wanted to talk about is I had never even really thought about doing I know that they have great snorkeling and diving there, but I'd never heard of this place called and I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, so I apologize, but El Celio. And so they took us there. That place was amazing.
Really?
I have not seen crystal clear water like that since I was in Bora Bora.
Really?
I mean, that and like it reminds me of Exuma in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
I mean, so they took us on a snorkeling trip. We went to this one reef. I can't remember what the name of it was. But we saw big eagle rays, which eagle rays are like stingrays, but they're apparently spotted and then they're really large. So we saw 2 of those swimming there along with countless other fish.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that was really neat.
It reminds me of snoobing when we snoobed in
saw all the stingrays.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then they took us to another spot where it's like nothing but starfish. There's these huge starfish just all on the bottom of the ocean floor. I would say the water is probably like 6 feet deep there.
How long of an excursion is? How much time did it take to do this out of your day?
We left at 9:30 and we were back at 1:30.
Okay, so over lunch, did you found lunch somewhere, or did you eat lunch when you got back?
No, on the boat. Which let me finish.
Okay, so I'm jumping
so
ahead.
after
I've
the
had a lot of
starfish,
coffee.
I know. So after we saw the starfish area, which was very neat, then they took us to this cool little sandbar. And they set up, they had ceviche and chips and guacamole and salsa. And, so it was like a light lunch on board the boat there. But yeah, they just docked at the sandbar and the water was amazing. It was so beautiful.
Beverages?
Yes, beer was included.
All right, my kind of place.
Yep.
Okay.
And then there were stingrays swimming all around us there too.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, it was just amazing. I don't know. I just never thought that something like that existed off the coast of Cozumel, but it was beautiful.
So that's the thing. Like we've traveled all over the place, and we've been to Mexico, but we've never we've been there. We know there's great resorts there. We have a lot of our clients that travel there, but we've always when we travel, always kind of chose the Caribbean.
Right.
So I think it's awesome.
But this is Mexican Caribbean.
It is Mexican Caribbean. It's on the Caribbean or Gulf of.
But I've never really thought of Cozumel as just being a destination that you go and fly and stay.
Because so many cruises
It's just
go there.
cruises, but I do highly recommend it. It's something very different. If you've been to Mexico a lot, but maybe you've only stayed at a resort in the Cancun area, not in Cozumel, give Cozumel a try because it's a neat place. So
yeah, and from what you're saying, I mean, super economical. I mean, if you can get flights and everything for 6 nights at $3,200 all in, and then it's all inclusive. So when you show up, you put your wallet away.
Yeah.
Now, is tipping included? You want a tip there?
I think you definitely want a tip.
But that's okay. I mean,
oh yeah.
I mean, and how was the service overall? So
service was excellent.
Excellent. Okay.
Which I think
Scale
that's generally a Mexican thing. Like the service you get in Mexico is usually always good.
They seem to have more employees per property, right? There just seems to be a lot. Like their guest employee ratio is a lot stronger than what you might see at other properties.
Yeah.
Because you said at times you would sit down and you'd have a bunch of people waiting on you at once.
Oh my gosh, I'll talk
table.
about that last dinner. I mean, there was 16 of us and they had 8 servers. Like it was insane.
You can't beat that. So
no.
So before we move on to the next property,
hold on, I want to talk. Let me finish.
I was just going to say, if anyone hears anything and they're very interested in any of the packages that we're talking about, these properties we're talking about, hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on Facebook, or go to penyaktravel.com, fill out a request a quote, and it goes right to you.
Yep.
And me too. I get carbon copy on it.
That's right.
And we can answer any questions you have or whatever you'd like. We're a free service, so feel free to reach out to us. Now, without further ado, you can continue.
Well, I just wanted to say this because this is one important thing to note because I think it's very different than a lot of other hotels.
Yeah.
But at the Exploring in Cozumel, it's kind of like a nature hotel. Like it's back in the jungle, and it's all kind of about nature and your surroundings and enjoying the island. So there is not a TV in the room.
That is something to know before you go.
Yes.
Because for us, we like to at night at least wind down, cut the TV on. I mean, sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. But, when you think about it.
You really don't watch it yet. Now that we're talking about it.
Yeah, like we've really. And so then after the trip, when I did have a TV in my room, I never turned it on.
Yeah.
So
it's
just
nice.
thing that might be kind of important to know. And then one other little thing about the exploring that I wish they had in the rooms was like a table and chairs or just some sort of workspace, because they didn't have that in those rooms.
Oh, yeah. They probably want you more focusing on the outside and
right,
nature than work. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
mean, myself, I usually work a little bit.
You always, when you go to these things, you send me pictures, you're always working.
Oh, yeah. So,
I
like to have a little workspace, but they don't have that there. So, one thing to note.
Know before you go. Well, a lot of our clients, we hope, aren't working. But hey, if you got to work, I mean, we do it all the time.
Right.
I do it. You do it.
Yeah, but it was a beautiful place, beautiful resort. The first night they had this set up for us for dinner in the jungle.
Really?
Yeah, and that was really neat. The food was excellent. I was very impressed. So
something else you mentioned, I want to bring it up here real quick. Bring mosquito spray, right? Because you said the mosquitoes on some of these properties were a little bit, more present than other properties that we've been to, right? So bring some spray.
I mean, I feel like for me, it's kind of hard to judge because no matter where I go, I get eaten alive by mosquitoes.
You've got the blood type. I think there's a certain blood type.
Yeah.
And the mosquitoes actually smell that in your blood. Now, I sound a lot smarter than I actually am right now. Because they don't bite me. Like, we'll go places, and you're getting sucked to death alive.
And he won't have a single bite on him.
I've got nothing on me.
Yeah.
And you're, like, smacking yourself. You're just all over the place. I'm like, babe, are you okay? And you're like, no. And I'm like, I'm fine. What's going on?
Yeah, he does not even get touched by mosquitoes. So,
I feel so bad for you.
I mean, every time I go anywhere in the Caribbean or Mexico, I do always take bug spray and I spray myself before I leave.
Yeah.
So, which just speaking on that, just mosquitoes real quick. I know Zika's kind of been a thing that's been talked about. And a lot of that's not in the resort areas. And I have traveled, a ton over the last few years since that first came out, and I've never had a single issue, and I haven't had clients have an issue. So
yeah, the resorts do an excellent job at hiring companies to come in.
Oh, we saw them at the Exploring. They were fogging.
They doused the place where, I mean, they've got it under control. Now, if you were to wander off really far inland and get near some ponds, I wouldn't do that. You got to be vigilant wherever you go. But a lot of times these properties are so beautiful, you don't want to wander off inland. I mean, they're just so, like the pictures. The pictures that you posted on our Facebook, gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I was overly impressed just seeing it. Now the properties you had, it was more of a resort look. It was like a high rise 8 9. So the one property you showed, which one was that? It was a higher rise. Like you were on the 8th floor.
Oh, that's the very last one. You're getting ahead here.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
we freelance this. We don't do, so for all our listeners, we don't.
Yeah, there's no script.
There's
whatsoever.
no script. This is raw.
Yeah.
We don't edit it.
Yeah, no, we don't.
We just push publish.
Yeah, just go for it. Well, no, I will talk about that. But the Exploring, real quick, and we'll finish up with Cozumel. But it was like little huts, and they had 4 rooms in each of the buildings. So it was kind of nice because that you didn't really have a resort feel to it.
Yeah.
And there's one restaurant at the resort, but then you can use all the restaurants at the Fiesta Americana, which I believe there's 4 there.
How long would it take to get? Can you walk there?
Yeah, you walk.
That's really nice. Yeah.
From my room to like the main lobby bar, it was like a 2 or 3 minute walk. Like it's not far.
Quality of spirits and wine.
It was very good.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Very good.
That's a lot of people. That's what I would ask.
Yeah, they actually had Jamaican rum, which I was impressed.
Oh, really? Cool.
I like Jamaican rum, and
me too.
They had Appleton.
They had Appleton, nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had Appleton White and the dark. So I like that, but overall, a very neat place. I really enjoyed it. Oh. The Exploring also includes bicycles, and so you can take them off the property and like go ride all around Cozumel on your bikes. Yeah,
that's
and
super
Cozumel,
cool.
I mean, is very safe.
I mean, you always gotta be careful if where you're going going into a new place. But going to Cozumel as much as I have, I mean, it's a really big, it's a touristy place.
Yeah, it's
really cool. They have like a Margaritaville there. I know they have.
Oh yeah, I mean they have all like the cruise restaurants, like Fat Tuesday, Señor Frogs, all that. So overall, neat place. Pretty budget friendly if you're looking for something different, especially if you've been to say the Riviera Maya, Cancun area a lot, and you want something different. Give Cozumel a try. It's pretty cool.
I could see like groups of like late 20s, early 30s going there, like a bachelorette party, just because with all the cruise stuff there, with Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville and all that stuff, you can ride your bikes over there. You don't have to drive.
Yeah.
Hey, be careful if you're not good with a bike after a few cocktails.
Yeah.
Get the rental insurance.
Yep. But very neat place. So Monday, we took the ferry over to Playa del Carmen. And the ferry is about $23 U.S. one way per ticket.
And it was, what, a 30-minute ferry ride?
It's a 45-minute ferry ride. Okay. What I've always heard about it is the water can be rough. So sometimes I get seasick, so I took a Dramamine, and I'm glad I did because I think I would have been puking.
For people puking over the side of the boat, I feel so bad when I see that.
Yeah, no one was puking over the side of the boat, but there was a little boy in front of us, and he was puking.
Poor kid.
And one of the ladies who I was with, she was like, this is nothing as to what she's seen it before, like how bad it's been.
You know, there's nothing worse than being stuck on a boat.
Oh, yeah.
And you're nauseous, and you can't do anything about it, but vomit your brains out.
Yeah.
Like, I remember my bachelor party, one of my friends, we went on a casino boat, and it was this little boat in Myrtle Beach, and we were, like, young and broke, and this is, we're on this little casino boat, and it goes out in international waters, and it was raining.
Right.
And my friend, this particular friend, had been on this boat before and puked the first time, and he swore up and down, because the boat stays out there for, like, 6 hours. You're stuck. Like, you are there. He swore up and down. He's like, George, I'm never stepping foot on that boat again. That was HE double hockey stick on earth. Never doing it again. Well, fast forward a couple of years, my bachelor party's now, and the guys, we all want to go on the casino boat, and he's looking at this thing. He's like sweating as we roll up because he doesn't want to bail on the guys.
Right.
And we get him on the boat, and within minutes, he is laid out on the poker floor, face down on the disgusting floor of the poker room, vomiting his brains out.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt so bad for him.
Yeah, some people,
like 30% of the boat was puking. It was real bad. I was fine because I've got my sea legs, but like laid out, like people were laid out like refugees on the sand. And Evan, we get off the boat and he goes, I love you, man. I only did it for you, but like never doing that again.
Yeah. So little tip, take Dramamine just in case.
Yeah.
So, but they had on that ferry, they had a cool bar set up at the back so you could go and get drinks if you wanted. And they also had a Mexican band playing.
Oh, I saw a video of that.
Yeah.
We'll put that on our Facebook.
Yeah. So that was really cool. So, when we got to Playa del Carmen, one thing I want to say, and this happens in seasons, you can never predict it, but there's a lot of seaweed in Mexico right now. And I've always heard, about it being bad in certain places, but I've never actually seen it when it's really bad. It was really bad in Playa del Carmen right now.
Oh, was it? Yeah. They can't help it.
No, they can't help it.
They do the best they can, I think.
Right.
Punta Cana did a really good job at managing that.
Yes. They did.
Trucks out there every day, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. It was just, it kind of was like, oh wow, so that's what all the seaweed is when people are talking about it being really bad. But it's really neat though. We docked in Playa del Carmen, and then someone picked us up from there, and then they took us to the Live Aqua Boutique hotel. So that is literally like a hotel. You don't feel like you're at a resort because it's a high rise. Well, not really high rise. I think it's 4 or 5 stories. But it's like a hotel, very small, 3 restaurants.
Not all inclusive, right?
It's not all inclusive. Oh no, it is all inclusive, but it's not on the beach. Yeah, it is all inclusive.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's not on the beach though. You're a couple blocks away from the beach. They had a rooftop pool with a bar and restaurant up there, which is really cool. Yes, beautiful views.
I'm a sucker for a good view.
Yeah, and you could see the ocean. But what I loved about this, and I'd never been to Playa del Carmen before, it's right in the middle of town. And Playa del Carmen, there are so many shops and restaurants and bars. You just walk right out of the hotel and you're like right there within it.
Yeah. And very Americanized, you said, right? Like you can just walk around and it's...
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I would say Americanized, but it just had a very cool like city vibe to it.
That's cool. Yeah,
but like with a Mexican flair.
Yeah.
And so I think it would be a great spot for bachelor or bachelorette parties, because if you don't really care, if you're not going to spend too much time at the beach, go there like 3 nights, and then you've got the cool resort with the rooftop pool bar. You can hang out there. You can go to the beach for a couple hours if you want to. It's a couple blocks away.
Younger crowd at this property.
Overall, yeah, it was
good.
mostly
That's good
younger.
for bachelor parties,
yeah. But then you can at night walk all to all these different restaurants and bars, and
what was the name of that one?
Live Aqua Boutique.
Live Aqua Boutique. Did you price that one out?
Yeah. So just to give you an idea, just based on like 2 people, and this was for 5 nights, which I don't know that I would stay there 5 nights. Because I kind of like a whole resort feel, but I would definitely do like 3 nights there. Yep. But 5 nights with airfare nonstop from Charlotte in October was $2,210 for 2 people.
And it's all included.
And it's all inclusive. So that's like $1,105 a person for 5 nights. That's a great deal.
With flights. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Can you book that now? Is that one of our bundle packages? Because we have that ability.
Yep.
At Penyak Travel, we have what we call bundle packages, where we bundle your air and your hotel stay together, and you don't have to book your air up front, so you don't have to pay for your up front. We bundle it for a low deposit of like $400 or something.
Yeah, $200 a person.
So $200 a person, and you're locked in, and then you can make payments as you go.
Right.
So it's really cool because I think if you book online, they're going to make you pay your airfare in full.
That's right. Yeah, and
for
that's
a lot of
with
people,
most
that's
packages. I can do that. Some of them it might be a little bit larger deposit, like maybe $470 total for 2 instead. But yeah, generally speaking, I can do that. So,
yeah, and it's so much fun when you lock in a vacation.
Oh yeah.
Like I just love it. Like when we lock something in, especially when you can lock it in for just a few $100s, you're like, okay, now you slightly get in vacation mode. And then also,
and it's nice that you don't see this huge chunk of money go out of your bank account at once, so that's nice.
Yeah, your airfare's locked in, everything's locked in for a couple $100, and then you can just make payments. Like you don't have to just save up all the, like we try to make it as economical as possible for all of our clients, and a lot of your clients take advantage of that.
Oh
right?
Yeah, and then just the remaining balance is due 45 days before you leave, so just note that. But
so a month and a half before you leave, as long as the balance is paid in full, good to go. Can't beat that.
No, but I got pictures of this hotel there too, and it was a great place, and we had brunch there, and I've never had this dish. I can't remember what it was called, but it was from the Yucatan part of Mexico. It's like one of their dishes that is common there. And it was delicious. It was almost like a Mexican pizza, but not on dough. It was like on a tortilla, and it had all this like guacamole and salsa and cilantro. Oh, that sounds so good. Then it had steak on there. It was so good.
So you get that good Mexican flair of food there. Yeah. Like you talked about, like overall the culinary experience was really good.
It was excellent.
Like you said they had really incredible restaurants, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, at this hotel there's only 3, but we ate at one of them, and I mean, like I just said, the food was great. So and
what's crazy is that, like, I think a lot of people, there are a lot of very discounted all-inclusives in Mexico, right?
Oh yeah.
And there's some where it's like you're gonna get a guy flipping burgers on a grill on a beach, and it's like a chow line. We don't recommend those kind of properties.
No, I'd never put you there.
We because I think there's a lot of people like, well, I did all inclusive in Mexico and it was terrible. Well, yeah, you probably went to like a very very low cost option, right, and you're going to get the quote all inclusive experience, but it's going to be watered down liquor and a guy flipping burgers on a beach, and it's not high quality.
Right.
The all inclusives that we recommend have sit down restaurants, different types of cuisines, multiple restaurants to choose from, top shelf liquor. We're not quoting properties that are below our standard.
Oh, yeah, that I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, because you've had people come to you like wanting to go to a property, and we say we're just not going to book that. We don't feel comfortable booking that.
Yeah, because I don't want to deal with the problem later.
Yeah, because it could be a problem because that like the average consumer's expectation is very high.
Right.
And these properties do a heck of a job marketing themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can go online and it looks like you're going to be staying in a 7-star beautiful place, and you get there and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
They photoshopped. It's kind of like Instagram now. You can go to Instagram filters. Everyone's sexy.
Oh yeah.
like I'm going to be sexy at 70. I'm going to be selfing myself at 70 with all the technology on the phone, and I'm going to look beautiful. That's what they do. That's what they do with properties.
Yeah.
In Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Got to know before you go.
Yeah, that's right. But I think the Playa del Carmen option would be a great split stay. Like go and stay there for, if you have, say, a full week, go and stay there for 3 nights.
Yeah.
And then you get the cool city vibe with the Mexican flair. Lots of things to do there.
Yep.
And then go and stay at a resort, say, for another 3 nights, and then just relax and chill. I think it is a great place to do that.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
But I really liked that. So then from there, we went to Cancun and checked into the Live Aqua Cancun.
Is this the last property?
No.
Okay.
Why are we going long?
We're at 30 minutes.
Well, maybe that's because you were rambling a little bit.
I know. I get on these things and I start going.
Yeah, no, we'll be
I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, but so Live Aqua Cancun, it's adults only.
Yep.
I had heard great things about it, and I'd also heard that it was a pretty quiet resort overall, but I didn't think that at all.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a party resort by any means, but they had a really cool nightclub there that, I mean, was pretty full every night.
That's good. I mean, you want to have that option.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of times it depends on the people that are at the resort at that time, the guests, but overall, I thought it was great.
That's awesome.
But they have...
What does that price out at?
Well, yeah, and I was going to say, they have 8 restaurants there. I know there's 7 pools.
7 pools?
Yeah, and
That's
each
cool.
one is a different temperature, which is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
So, did you ever feel like, did you dip your toe in all of them? You test the waters?
No, I didn't.
It's okay. That's a lot to do.
Yeah, but, and it's right on the beach, right near the hotel zone. You can walk across the street, and there's a really nice mall there with all sorts of shops like Louis Vuitton, Prada, very expensive shops right across the street. So I really like that resort. But yeah, so 5 nights for 2 adults with airfare.
What you got?
$31.65 in October.
Locking in for $200, right? Per person.
200 person, yeah, and that $31.65 is total for 2 people, so roughly $1,600 a person.
All your food and drinks included.
All your food and drinks are included. You're at a resort on the beach. So a great option, and I was very impressed with the food there. I thought the food quality was excellent.
And it gets the Penyak Travel Seal of approval.
Absolutely.
Any property we talk about on here is going to get unless we tell you
or
otherwise.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, we'll tell you otherwise because we have no problem when someone brings us a property. We're like, whoa. Listen, if you want to do that, that's fine. You're just going to have to do it on your own because there's just too much. We just wouldn't recommend it. So.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. So then after that, but yeah, Live Aqua, I definitely recommend it. It's a great
families, anything? What do you
adults
think?
Only.
Adults only?
Yeah, it's a great adults only place right on in the hotel zone of Cancun. So excellent location. It's like 15 minutes from the airport, so it's really... It's a great choice. And then after that, we went and toured, which also Live Aqua has been renovated. So that's very nice. And one cool thing, they do have the Aqua Club there, which I stayed in one of the Aqua Club rooms. But when you arrive, they take you up to this lounge. They gave us a hand massage whenever we checked in.
Really?
Yeah, and they're all about like wellness and feeling all of your senses. And so like they gave you a hand massage, and then that way they said so then you could immediately like get into, I guess, the Zen mode and then feel the senses. Yeah, and then
they're kind of starting your trip off with
and then every night they had like these different scents in the room, like for one that was like energy or one that would help you sleep, and
really cool.
Yeah, it's a very neat place. So never stayed anywhere like that, but I enjoyed it.
I would enjoy that too. Like I've never stayed in something like that. Like I would enjoy that kind of experience because the older I get, the more I feel like we both are like, when I was younger, I'm like, I'm not doing a massage. But now I kind of like that. Like the older I get, I'm into more like, longevity, stretching, and doing massages and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I would like that.
Yeah.
You need to take me. When are we going?
I don't know. But it was a very nice place.
You've booked me all around the world.
Yeah, I know. But overall, I was very impressed with it. I really liked it. The beach was beautiful. They did have a little bit of seaweed there right now, but they did a good job of cleaning it up. Yeah. But I highly recommend that place as well. So then they took us and we toured the Fiesta Americana Condesa Cancun, which is 5 minutes down the street from Live Aqua, going back towards the airport.
Separate property, though.
Yeah, separate resort. It's family friendly. Also recently renovated. All the rooms were beautiful, and that hotel had 10 restaurants.
Wow.
Yeah.
So must be a bigger property. So it's a little. You're gonna have more people there. But.
Yeah, it was bigger.
Could it ever feel crowded?
No, I mean, we didn't stay there. We just toured it, but I did not think it felt crowded at all.
Yeah.
But they had like a Mexican restaurant. Caribbean restaurant, a steakhouse, which I was pretty impressed with. Yeah, but we ate at the Mexican restaurant that night, but it was beautiful. And I would highly recommend that one as well.
What was the price on that?
I was going to say for a family of 4, 5 nights in October, roughly $4,700
for a family of 4.
Yes.
With flights
from Charlotte.
Very kid-friendly property too.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
was that the one that you said that had a really impressive kids camp?
No, that's gonna be the next one. Yeah.
Is that the wow? How many? We should have done like 2 shows with this. This is crazy. If you're still on with us, thank you so much. We love you guys.
No, but overall, I was impressed by it. I think it would be a great family friendly option. They had lots of different pools and swim up bars. I mean, everything that you could want in a resort, and it's been recently renovated as well. So
really good.
Yes. Yep.
How many more left on the docket here?
Just one.
So we're down to the last one. Is this your favorite?
I do think this was my favorite.
So we saved the best for last.
Yes. So the last place we stayed at was the Grand Fiesta Americana Coral Beach, Cancun. So a couple things you need to know about this resort. Number one, it's not all-inclusive.
Okay.
But
it's the only one that we've talked about that's not all-inclusive, right?
Right.
Okay.
But we stayed in the all-inclusive part of it. So you can stay in, it's called the U at Grand Fiesta Americana Coral Beach, and that is all-inclusive. And
so the whole property is not all-inclusive, but there's a part you can stay in that it has.
Yeah, then they give you a wristband, and
really cool. Okay.
And then that means you're in the all-inclusive program.
Grand Fiesta what?
Grand Fiesta Americana Coral Beach is what it's called. So the beach was, and the water was a lot better on this side of Cancun. It faces Isla Mujeres. And so they say that because of where they are located, there's absolutely no seaweed that comes in. And the beach and the water is just pristine and it's very calm.
I'm looking at pictures. This place is, I remember you sent pictures of this.
Right.
I just Googled pictures. Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
This is incredible.
It's a beautiful resort. Now, it is one of the oldest in their portfolio. It hasn't been recently renovated, but I still think that, it was nice and it was clean and it looked like it was refreshed and new.
This was the property that you said you had 6 people, or you had 16 people dining and 8 people waiting on you or something?
Yes.
That's cool.
So they have at this resort, so in restaurants, there are like 5 diamond restaurants that have received like the 5 diamond award or a 4 diamond award. So they had a 4 diamond restaurant at this resort and a 5 diamond restaurant at this resort.
That's a big deal. So for all of our listeners, if you've been to a Mexican all-inclusive and did not have a good time, you need to give it another shot, because the restaurants you're referring to, if you get that kind of prestige honor, it's going to be incredible. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And so 5 nights there in the all-inclusive portion is, I just priced it, and it was the same price as the Fiesta Americana Condesa.
Really?
Yeah. You don't have as many restaurants because I think there's only 6 restaurants there, but if it were me, I would choose that location just because, I don't know, I enjoyed that resort. It was beautiful, and what you get included if you're in the all-inclusive part is, premium liquor. You have the concierge service, champagne breakfast with unlimited mimosas every morning. And when we arrived, they took us up to the Grand Club, which is on the top floor. It's on the 12th floor of the resort, and just the views from up there were amazing.
I'm a sucker.
Yes.
You would hook, line, and sinker. If it's a good view, I'm in.
Yeah. But it includes the resort fee, all your meals, all your drinks. You get the hydrotherapy sessions included, which is a spa treatment. You get a jet ski rental included.
Oh, it includes jet ski rentals?
1 per stay, yes. 30 minutes per person per stay.
That's all you need, because it's fun.
Yeah.
We did that in the Bahamas. We had a blast.
Oh, yeah. And
you were scared because you were like, I'm going too fast.
But and I wasn't about to do it again. So
I'll do it solo.
Yeah, you can do it yourself. But you also have your in-room mini bar, and they have all sorts of liquor and wine and snacks included. And when I just looked at it, I want to say it was only like $300 more per person. I don't know why in the world you wouldn't get that. So
for $300, you get all of that?
More per person.
So
yeah,
like but $300 more dollars, incremental. Yeah.
Yeah. And
done.
When we were there, I didn't look at any of the prices on the menus because they had a preset menu for us. But the hotel manager, he said that, if you were to go to dinner at that 5 Diamond French restaurant, you're going to spend $200.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's totally worth it. And another great thing about this resort, it would be great for conventions. They have a lot of convention space, can hold up to 1,000 people. It's also right across the street from the Cancun Convention Center. And you can walk right out of this hotel, which I did. Walk down the street, lots of shops and restaurants and bars and a little flea market there, and I always felt safe because that's one thing a lot of people ask about Mexico is safety. I've never felt unsafe anywhere I went. So
very cool. Very cool.
But overall, I would highly recommend that resort. I would say of them, it's probably my favorite.
Excellent.
And I almost forgot. The kids club at this resort is the best kids club I have ever seen at any resort. It was amazing. And if you're in the all-inclusive part of it, then you can take your kids there for free. It's included. If you're not, then they do charge based on half-day or full-day rates, and then also based on like the time of year. Yeah. But it could be up to like $25 per kid per day. So I mean, overall, you're a much better value to get in and do the U, even if you do want to go out and see, or go out to some of the local spots. But Kids Club there, amazing.
What made it so amazing?
It was just huge.
Oh, it was huge.
It was huge. And they had all these different places. Like they had an Xbox room. They had a huge kitchen area. They had a play area like where kids can get dressed and do like theater shows. The outdoor area had slides and like dinosaurs everywhere, and it was neat. That is awesome. It's one of the best kids clubs that I've seen.
So overall, based on all the packages we talked about, we list all the resorts we talked about real quick. Wrap them up.
So we talked about the Exploring and Fiesta Americana in Cozumel, and then Live Aqua Boutique in Playa del Carmen, and then Live Aqua Cancun, and then Fiesta Americana Condesa in Cancun, and Grand Fiesta Americana Coral Beach in Cancun.
So we covered a lot here on this podcast. What, in your opinion, is, I mean, it's going to be hard to say because we would recommend them all. There's not one we wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, no, I would absolutely recommend them all, but it also depends on if you're traveling as a family or if you're traveling adults. If
that makes a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, adults only, then I say it makes a huge difference in your vacation. If it's just adults, then I would say don't go to a family place. I mean, why would you?
Yeah, if you're just adults, I mean, a lot of adults don't want to go spend time around other people's kids.
So well, just because, you hear kids like kind of yelling and screaming and, that sort of thing. So
speaking of kids, our cat kid just walked in and meowed.
Yeah, that's Ringo. Yeah.
Good job, Ringo.
But yeah, if it's an adults only vacation, I highly recommend, depending on what you're looking for, either the Live Aqua Boutique or the Live Aqua in Cancun. I think they're great.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And then family, I mean, of all the family ones, I still think that last one is my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, the Grand Fiesta Americana Coral Beach.
Grand Fiesta.
That's right. So, I mean, another thing that it includes if you're in the U is you get a free, one free ferry ride over to Isla Mujeres.
Ooh, which is a beautiful area.
Yes.
The pictures of
that it's a beautiful island off the coast of Cancun.
Good stuff.
Yes.
Well, folks, there you have it. That is Cozumel and Cancun.
And Playa del Carmen.
I mean, you had a busy week.
It was very busy. I was absolutely exhausted when I got home.
Well, welcome back from the grind.
Yes.
Now we're back and we're ready to serve our clients. So thank you guys so much for listening. Happy Cinco de Mayo. If you heard anything, again, that you're interested in or have any follow-up questions, just hit us up.
Yep.
We're an open book. We also have, it's Janet, myself, but we also have like 10 agents that can help as well. So our agency is just completely exploding, and we love it, and mainly because we have the best clients in the world, which are you guys. So thank you guys for listening. Have a happy Cinco de Mayo. Don't drink too many margaritas.
Yep.
And stay safe out there today. But we love you. Thank you guys.
Yep. And we'll catch you next time.
Catch you next time.